Hello, we are Sornia. We are here to hopefully prop you up a little bit. Rough times. We are picking this up from many of you, so we want to hopefully give you a little bit of support, a little bit of insight. Everything is not lost. Some of you have felt that. You feel very withdrawn. A lot of you are dealing with some very difficult health, physical body expressions, psychological, emotional, and much more. Those that are highly sensitive, and that would include everyone that hears these messages, you're feeling it because you are highly sensitive. So we want you to know that, as you say in your world, God always wins. Love always wins. Source creator always wins. That's the ultimate result of what is going on here. But it has gotten more prolific. What do we mean by it? The darkness has gotten more prolific. It has gotten more blatant. It has gotten more exposure. And the result is that many of you are feeling the weight of this shift, another shift. So think about what this is for you, it being this time period. So think about this time period and how you've been experiencing things for the last in your month and a half, 2 months, maybe some of you a little bit longer, but kind of go back and unearth some of what you have been experiencing. If you're not already aware, most of you are, but we're going to start with the basics here. We want you to be well aware of what you are experiencing in your physical form. For the physical form is the focus here in your earthly condition. So your physical form will be attacked. Now, your physical form is what allows you to navigate and experience the earth life, right? It's what allows you to move through earth. You could have earthly adventures in a non-physical form, and you've done that. There's so much you don't know that you don't remember when you go into that physical form that you have created for yourself, because that's the design of it. But many of you are too drawn in at this time into the physical form and have felt disconnected and cut off from your source, meaning your connection to the creator and source, God. And this is accurate. We don't want to say this to scare you. Not everybody's going to be feeling this, but we have to address this for those that are feeling it, because it is going to be a challenging time in this regard. We don't know always how this will be resolved, but there has been the battle between the light and the dark, if you will. Good always wins. It always will. But right now, the darkness has, what you might say, has pulled out all stops and is really pushing forward its plans to ultimately control and hold hostage humanity. Those that it can hold hostage. Those that it can't hold hostage, it is hopeful that those individuals will choose to leave the earthly plane. So we have to talk about this. We have to share this. You can believe it or not, but you are very manipulated by this force. Now, this force is not an earthly force. It does not belong on earth. Let's talk just a little bit about that before we go back to talking about how this force is manipulating you once again. So this force comes from, there are a lot of different names you have for it, but it is a dark force. It is an evil force, and it has taken over many thousands and thousands and thousands of years, taken over what we would say are more idyllic or peaceful realms Some have been liberated, some are still in complete darkness. And right now, Earth and humans are the focus, major focus, although there are others as well, but we're talking about humanity, and Earth at this time is the major focus of this darkness. And it is not of your planet. It does not belong on your planet. It exists because everything that is possible to exist exists. It's there. It's just taken the upper hand on your planet at the moment. So this force that comes through and manipulates the human being, okay? There are people or supposed people walking your planet that aren't human. Most of you know that. They are extraterrestrials, or however you want to understand them, disguised in human form. You have everything there. But what we're focusing on is how this force uses the human form to manipulate. Okay, so yes, you have a lot of other stuff going on. There are beings, and there's so much that you don't see because of your limited ability to see your reality, or all of reality, we should say. Your reality you're seeing, but all of reality. And we have spoken about that. So this force wants at all costs to control. This force has a very, how do we describe it? This force controls and manipulates at this time the human form. The human form is what it wants to ultimately redesign and use for its own means. And because there are so many humans walking the planet who are unaware of how you are being manipulated and how you are being ultimately controlled, it's been very successful at creating opportunities for more of that darkness to come through. And that's what's happened. You've had some events that are public events with many millions of people in attendance and observing. And ultimately, these events are openly expressing this demonic energy. And through that, there have been the opening of portals. Now, not just in recent events, it's been going on for quite some time. We could go back and list all the times that many have gathered, and there have been these ritualistic events that you or your family members or others have participated in unknowing what you were doing. And that is been probably the greatest difficulty we have faced, and you have faced, in this current time, because of and this is not meant as an insult, but of the ignorance that many people have of what is truly a metaphysical event outside your ability to perceive from your reality. Just like certain animals, well, all animals, you think of your eagle. It has a very acute eyesight that you don't have. As a human, you don't have that eyesight, right? And it can see things that you would not be able to see. Or so to an animal, like your dog or other creatures, they sense things. Your birds, they sense things, and you're aware of that you don't sense. You are capable of sensing them, but that field that should be part of your natural state in human form has been, it's not even shrouded, isn't quite the right word, but it has been darkened, it has been shielded. You've been prevented from having your own you call it intuition, but it's much more than what you understand as intuition. It's a knowing. It's a deep, deep knowing of your origins that has been successfully blocked from you. And it is increased with these, what we call these rituals from the dark that are some are smaller and some are larger. There's a lot that goes on without you knowing. But when you participate with your attention, you are allowing that information, you are allowing it into your field. Therefore, you are part of the ritual. We're just saying this. We want you to be observant. You have really all gone into, without knowing, in a sense, you are shrouded or in a very dark place. Okay? Now, maybe not all of you are feeling that, and that's okay. But there are too many that are, and we needed to talk about this because you're not lost. It feels that way. This is all part of that illusion, okay? So we're working with you. You are working with us to understand how that takes place within the human form, its energy system, okay? Not just the physical, but other layers. There are aspects of you as a being of light, because you are all beings of light, that you're not familiar with. You are so unfamiliar with them, these aspects of you that stay hidden from you, that in many, many thousands and thousands of years ago, you had access to that. So this is what's going on, and it's bringing forward the state of being of a lot of darkness, and each of you are going to experience it in your own way. And again, there might be some of you that are going, no, I'm not experiencing anything, and you weren't meant to then, but a lot of our light workers are. Many of you are here on Earth, experiencing Earth because you volunteered to come here to help humanity. Many of you. Many of you had volunteered when humanity became entrapped some 26,000 years ago, when humanity was then really swept into this darkness. That's when the valley of forgetfulness that you talk about when you're born, that's when that was created. Many of you chose to stay because you felt that you could benefit humanity by going through the experiences here with humanity as opposed to coming in later on. So each of you has a little bit different timing as to how long you have been in this earthly reality of this density. But let's just put it this way. This is why I'm speaking about this to you. It is, you're feeling an exhaustion. It is like at the end of your ropes because of this manipulation by this darkness to get you to give up. And if you give up, then you give in, and you give into any number of experiences that won't allow you to express your divinity and your unique expression of source energy in human form. Let's say your light is dulled because of this manipulation. We are working very hard with you, and you are working with us. And some of you are feeling as if your time has come to no longer participate in this awakening that's here. And it is all by design of the dark. Okay. We haven't found a quick and easy solution, but we bring this forward with our messages to you in the hopes that you find through your thinking in your brain, you can bring it down into the heart. But you are blocked at this time, but not because you have chosen to block yourself or there's some greater experience here. It's been imposed on you. So think about this. imposed on you, and you all have a greater understanding than your average fellow man. Think about them, how they're truly lost. They don't even know that they're lost, okay? So one thing we would recommend, highly recommend at this time, to limit, if not completely stop your participation with anything that comes from your mainstream music or television, any of those things that have a dark message attached to it. If it's something uplifting and inspiring, okay. But we would recommend starting there. Give yourselves a break. Just give yourselves a break and seek the time to be with yourself. Go in nature if that's possible. Sit quietly. Better to sit and stare out a window doing nothing than to distract yourself with the inane presentations available for you, the music, the distractions of the movies and such. Not because, we're suggesting this not because you can't see through this in other circumstances. You can't understand what's good for you and what's not. You in the past have been able to see something, go, that's not for me. That doesn't let me feel good. When I hear that or I watch that, that makes me feel not good. The difficulty here is you might even be tempted or drawn to those things that in the past didn't let you feel good, just because it's something that will take your attention away from that feeling of being lost or being disconnected. We ask that you do this for your sake, for the sake of all humanity. We're not saying that hopefully this doesn't come off as a dark message or one of failure. That's not what this is. That's why we said at the beginning, God, source, creator, good, love, always wins, always wins. And you're have to experience what you're experiencing right now is what we want to acknowledge. You're not crazy. You're not falling back. You're not losing your connection that can never be lost. It is a falsehood. It only feels that way. Please be patient with this. Do as we say, just for this time being. You disconnect from the different forms of media that you have used. Just do it for a little bit, a day or two, and see if you don't feel a little bit better. It is a way of saying no to this darkness, saying, no, I'm not going to pay attention to the evil that you transmit, or you manipulate others to believe that this is a good thing, or this is, these various forms of darkness that are being expressed in your world openly and blatantly, as if they are daring all of us that are what I would say on the side of good, daring us to come and get them, right? And that's what we're doing. See, that's what we're doing. And you that are in human form and going through this experience are true warriors, are the ones that we are depending on to get that information through your physical form, all the different layers to us. And it's working, and we're seeing this. And that's why we come back with some advice for you. Please have faith. Have faith in yourself. It's not lost. It appears that way because there will be many light workers that will buy into it because it will feel so real and it will feel so difficult to feel your connection. We know that. You've been telling us that. We see it. Take that time. Even if you're not feeling it, take the time to sit with your own energy system and the beauty of it. We hope this helped. Please continue to reach out to us so that we can interpret what it is that you are asking and give that back to you. It is not lost. Do not be in a place of fearing. seriously nothing to fear here. It's an experience. Think of it. Maybe it is not the best metaphor, but it's like having a nightmare and you wake up from the nightmare and you go, whew, that was just a nightmare. You're living a nightmare, some of you right now. Again, not all of you are, but many of you are, especially our light workers that are so brave and so courageous to go through this. It's only an appearance. It's an illusion. It's a falsehood. It might get worse. We feel like it might get worse, but hang in there, please. That it's just a matter of time before this too will pass and you will see it. All right. Hopefully this wasn't too dampening of your spirits. Hopefully you feel still optimistic and strengthened by these messages, because there is nothing that can stop us. And you are all very brave, very, very brave. So hang in there. You will see the benefit of that in time. We don't know the time frame, but just hang in there. We love you very, very much. We are Sornia. Goodbye.